sensitive work on her computer and asked me to go through her photo gallery on her phone to send her some images. As I was going through the photos, she received a text from someone that said, "Love you, princess. Good night. Heart emoji." I understandably got freaked out and started looking at the text history. I didn't need to read a lot before seeing red. My girlfriend has been chatting with this person regularly, mainly about her day. He keeps calling her baby and princess and sending her lots of love and hugs and kisses. I feel shocked. I thought I had a great relationship with my girlfriend. I looked at the name again and suddenly remembered that my girlfriend had mumbled it and something about chocolate in her sleep the other night. I could see this had been going on for a while and I got really angry. So I sent a message to the guy about how he was scum for calling somebody else's girlfriend baby, and then I deleted the messages and I blocked the number. This was an hour ago. I don't feel like I went too far, but now that I've cooled down, I've been wondering and wanting some outside perspective. Now, you guys, this isn't the entire story. There is an update, and it has a huge plot twist. So here it is. So, it turned out that I effed up big time. My girlfriend came here as an international student and has relatives from other cultures. It turns out that what I thought was the affair partner's name was actually the word for aunt. Her elderly aunt that helped raise her, which is why the messages were so affectionate. Apparently, she makes a mean chocolate cake, which my girlfriend had been dreaming about the other night. I thought this was complete BS, but my girlfriend made me read through all her messages from the beginning, and I realized that she was telling the truth. My girlfriend is pissed. Apparently, her aunt has been crying because of the message I sent. Poor auntie. And because I blocked the number. It took a while to clear the situation up. She cursed me out, the girlfriend. She cursed me out for 5 minutes and said I'm a total scumbag and it's over, and then kicked me out. This Redditor ends the post with, "Thanks a lot, Reddit." Let's say for a minute that we hadn't read the update. Let's assume for a minute that the OP's girlfriend was actually having an affair. I'm not making excuses for that whatsoever, but the way the OP dealt with it is incredibly immature at best, and I think even if the update wasn't there, that would make him an a-hole. I mean, the right thing to do is to talk to your girlfriend about it, not rage message this person messages, block the number. That is immature. That is incredibly immature. And I think the OP has some emotional maturing to do. Now with the update, I mean, it only got worse. Karma is a B word, and sometimes she catches up with people real fast. I feel really bad for the aunt who was crying because of the message that she received, which kind of like tells you how bad it was. That is absolutely awful, and honestly, I don't blame the girlfriend one bit for kicking him to the curb. I mean, you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who is that emotionally immature. It's kind of unhinged, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, I think the OP has some growing up to do. So I'm gonna stick to my judgment. Definitely, the OP is the a-hole in this situation. Alright, you guys, this next one is a doozy. It has so much drama. I hope you're ready for this. Alright, am I the a-hole for replying to a coworker's inappropriate texts by work email and attaching them? One of my coworkers, who I thought was friendly, but that was it, he's married, sent me some inappropriate texts at like 3 a.m. on St. Patrick's Day weekend. He was asking me to come over and have some fun, and saying that he had been into me for a while and knew I felt the same about him. I don't. I'm a lesbian, but I'm not out at work. He also sent me a naked selfie that luckily cut off right before his member, but dang, it was close. When I saw them, I was out with friends and I was like, what the Okay, this is a Monday problem. Yes, girl. I have a really strict rule with myself that I don't do work, think about work, or answer messages about work outside of 9 to 5 from Monday to Friday exactly as it should be. I also don't use my personal phone for work stuff. If someone from work calls or texts and it's not one of the co-workers I see as a close friend and trust to not talk shop on the weekends, I'm just not answering. Now, I saw dealing with this fucker as a workday problem, so I ignored his message, as you should, babe. He sent me several later, first saying sorry, he was drunk, but then saying he just hadn't quite said it how he wanted to, but he was still into me and had a feeling that I felt the same. Now, Monday rolls around and I wrote him an email on the work email saying, wasn't just the one time, the one photo, and then an apology. Maybe, I would have given him the benefit of the doubt. But the fact that, several messages followed and he said, I just didn't come out right. And, well, I still have feelings for you, bearing in mind this guy is married. And I kind of feel like you feel the same thing. I mean, kind of already proving that this wasn't just a drunk accident, even though that is also not an excuse. Anyways, back to the story. Now, he got really mad. He texted me back saying I'd crossed a line attaching this picture to a work email. Was I trying to get him fired? Oh yeah, because the OP is crossing a line here. She's the one who's crossing a line. Sure. I screenshot that text too and attached it to an additional email saying, as per my prior email, please only contact me about work matters and only on my business email. Yes, Queen. This is amazing. He stopped texting me, but he came to my desk to speak to me. And before he said anything, I asked, is this a work question? And he said I knew what it was about. And I said that I wasn't available for discussion at the moment. If he did need to meet with me for a work matter, could he please schedule a meeting on the calendar and also include a reader to brief me on the topic of the meeting? Fantastic. He walked off, as he should. I feel like I was a bit of a B word in dealing with it when maybe I could have told him to cut it out by text, but I'm also effing sick of dealing with this at every job, and I feel like my patience to use my own time and energy to gently ask guys to cool it is worn thin, and I want to set the precedent that I won't engage at all outside of work hours or work accounts. Am I the a-hole for sending that email? You guys, there is a bunch of updates, but before I move on to the updates, I want to give my judgment on this. I mean, you might have already guessed it, but the Redditor is absolutely not an a-hole for sending the email. I think she handled it in such a professional way and set clear boundaries for herself, and that is something to be admired. I am incredibly proud of how this Redditor handled the situation. The only thing that I would change is I would have sent it to HR as well, because clearly this guy, this wasn't just a drunk text, this wasn't just a mistake, because an apology would have followed and that would have been it, but it wasn't. He still insisted on telling the Redditor, while he's married, mind you, how he's interested in her, and he feels like she feels the same. Because, other people get to decide how you feel now. So, no, absolutely not. The Redditor is not an a-hole, and I am in awe of how she dealt with this situation and her ability to set clear boundaries. But now for the updates, you guys. Alright, update number 1. Looks like the overwhelming majority of y'all think I need to go to HR to get ahead of this. Yes, I agree. I was considering holding off to see if he calls it himself, but the way he came to my desk after being told off twice makes me think that's probably not the best idea. Exactly. It was already crossing a line. Well, it was crossing a line from the beginning, but the fact that it didn't just stay, conversation we had at my desk and asked them to meet with me to discuss. Update number 2. I sent an email to HR this afternoon and they called a meeting with me the same day. I told them everything, though there wasn't a lot to say that wasn't already captured in the emails, and they assured me that I wouldn't have any more contact with him at work. They are going to meet with him tomorrow. Good. I'm glad HR is taking this seriously. It's still not decided if he will be fired or if he will be moved to a different position where he won't have any reason to speak to me. I have a feeling it might depend on how he handles the conversation with them. I do feel good about my emailing HR. I feel like, along with myself, I've possibly helped out other women by starting that paper trail if it turns out to be something he's done more than once. Update number 3. Holy shit. I went out to happy hour with a few of my female friends in my field to vent. And one of my friends told me she had met this same guy at a professional conference, given him a business card with her phone number on it, and he sent her a nasty picture too. She just replied saying that was inappropriate and she had a husband, and he said something about her husband not having to know. This guy is disgusting. Disgusting. Clearly also has a lot of growing up to do, a lot of maturing. So she had her husband call him and leave a voicemail telling him to F off, and then she never heard from him again. Good. At least he got the message. It's just a shame that for some reason a man needs to get involved in order for these creeps to get the message. I asked her if she would be okay sending screenshots of the text exchange to my HR contact. She was, and she even wrote that she met him at a professional conference where he was representing the company. She gave him a business card for networking reasons, and he sent her an unsolicited lewd picture, and that she needed her husband to intervene to stop the harassment. I haven't checked my email again. I'm trying to leave work at work and not dwell on this anymore tonight, but it seems like HR will have even more to go off of before meeting with him. Update number 4. Last one. He was fired. Yes. I mean, I don't want to seem insensitive, but it's now been proven that this guy has done this with at least 2 women, and I am willing to bet anything that he's done it with more than just 2 women. This guy is married. Quite frankly, in my opinion, it shouldn't have just been forwarded to HR, but it should have been sent to his wife as well. Anyways, he was fired. I don't know a lot of details. I have a follow-up meeting with HR soon, but my coworkers told me that he was escorted out of the building this morning. One of my coworkers who sits near the HR office said they heard him screaming at the HR staff during his meeting this morning. I mean, again, childish, unhinged behavior. This guy clearly has a lot of maturing to do, right? In my opinion, at least. It's crazy how stuff escalated, honestly. Just last week, I thought he was a chill guy. I owe a thank you to everyone who told me to report this to. I'd been on the fence at first, but I feel like stuff was gonna escalate either way, and I feel a lot safer not having to see him every day at work. this story, but I also just wanted to add that I find it kind of sad that the Redditor felt compelled to ask the internet, in this case Reddit, for an opinion on whether or not she is the a-hole in this situation when she handled this perfectly. She remained professional. She stuck to her boundaries, respected her own boundaries. She did everything perfectly, and that is something to be proud of, and I am in awe of this woman. I just find it sad that we live in, I guess, a society that is so focused on people pleasing that we kind of start second guessing ourselves and thinking, was this an a-hole move to send this email? No. Stand up for yourself. Have your boundaries, set your boundaries, stick to them. Protect yourself from people like this, from creeps like this. I am, again, so proud of this Redditor. Alrighty, last one for this evening. Will I be the a-hole if I reported a doctor for texting me? Earlier this week, I had a really strange doctor's appointment. I want to say up front that my doctor didn't harass me or make me feel uncomfortable during the appointment, but it was an unusually long appointment. It took almost an hour, where the doctor asked me a ton of questions about myself that didn't relate directly to my health. I didn't really think much of it at the time. I just thought he was making small talk. I went to this doctor as a referral from a close friend of mine who had the exact same experience. Really long appointment, tons of questions, overall a very friendly guy. My friend interpreted this as a doctor who actually cares about his patients, since most doctors will barely spend 15 minutes with you. Now the thing is, the day after this appointment, I got a text from my doctor saying that he thought I was beautiful. Oh hell no. Oh hell to the no. Saying that he thought I was a beautiful and confident woman, and he would love to go out with me sometime. No, absolutely not. I never gave him my number. He must have gotten it from the forms I filled out before the appointment. Even worse. I haven't replied to him, but this feels really sketchy to me. I have no idea if this is legal or not, but it definitely feels unprofessional. I mean, yeah, that's the least you can say about that. I have a feeling he texted me and not my friend because he asked about my relationship status in a casual way. It didn't really register at the time, but now it feels just really manipulative. He did the same thing to my friend, and she's not single. I don't want to ruin this guy's career, but I do think it should be known that he is invading his patient's privacy like this for personal reasons. Exactly. Would I be the a-hole if I skipped confronting him directly and went straight to reporting him? I mean, in my opinion, this is another one that is pretty cut and dry. Clearly, this doctor is taking advantage of his position of power, of authority. He is gathering information about these patients for his personal gain. He looks up their phone numbers, gets them from the forms that they need to fill in before the appointment, and then he messages them to ask them out. I mean, that is wildly inappropriate, and the very least that doctor deserves is to be reported. Like, I'm sorry, I quite frankly don't think it is a good idea to confront this doctor directly. It's not going to make much of an impression, and you risk putting yourself in danger. I think reporting it immediately to, the medical board is going to be your best bet and your safest bet. But it definitely needs to be done, because this Redditor is not the first and isn't going to be the last person this doctor pulls this stunt on if he's not stopped. So, needless to say, the Redditor would not be an a-hole for reporting him immediately to the medical board. He needs to be reported. It needs to happen. There was an edit. Thanks everyone for weighing in. I'm going to report him to the state medical board tomorrow. Good. I haven't responded to this text. I feel like that's the way to go. And I won't communicate with him at all going forward. Now, I was hesitant to report him because I didn't feel victimized or traumatized by this. I don't want to date him, but at the end of the day, all that happened to me was an unwanted text and a weird appointment. I realize now that it's really not about me or my feelings. It's about stopping someone from crossing very clear professional boundaries. If he's willing to do this, he might be willing to cross the line in other ways too. Oh, I can almost guarantee you he is willing. I can almost guarantee you that he is willing. And I mean, I'm glad that the Redditor didn't feel victimized or traumatized by this, but there are going to be women with different histories who are going to feel victimized and traumatized by this, and this is going to have a lasting impact on them. This is a case of stopping this, this creep who completely abuses the authority and power that he has as a doctor immediately, just stopping him in his tracks by reporting him to the medical board. I hope, beyond hope, that they did something about it. I mean, he brought this on himself, really. That was it for tonight's drama. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, and you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and leaving a comment down below. It really helps, and I love reading you guys' opinions on these stories. Thank you so much for choosing to hang out with me again tonight, and I can't wait to see you for next week's video. For now though, all there is left for me to do is to wish you